I'm Justin, DevOps engineer, and I give Docker 4 out of 5 stars. For more reviews like these, please click the link below. Before Docker, we mainly used virtual machines, and there isn't really a clear-cut winner between Docker and virtual machines, but they both have different advantages and disadvantages. On the virtual machine side, they have by far better isolation. If you want to have the maximum isolation and security possible, you're going to go with a virtual machine. But Docker is much quicker to start up, it's much quicker to get started with, and it's a lot more portable as a rule. We ended up using Docker mainly because we wanted to get that easy to use, easy to port thing. You make a Docker container and you know it's going to run on any Docker host. The technology behind Docker actually isn't new. It's been around for kind of a long time. The difference is it hasn't been as accessible as Docker has made it. Mainly for people who haven't gotten used to this sort of thing before. Having everything all in one with all the tools you need, all the support you need, all the resources you would need to make it work together, Docker has made it a great experience. So you've got the Docker binary itself that can run the containers. You've also got Docker Hub to store your containers, and you've got programs like Docker Desktop to make development a lot easier on you. Getting started with Docker wasn't very difficult. At this stage of the game, there are no shortage of people who can have Docker tutorials covering the basics, for spinning up a Hello World container to writing your very own container image itself. Docker, especially if you stick to the basics like Docker and Docker Compose, that sort of thing, it's not at all difficult to get started with making your very own container images. If you're thinking about using Docker, just be aware that there were some changes recently to how they have Docker Desktop. That is the all-in-one development program they have for Windows and Mac users. Up until this point, Docker Desktop was free to use, and it was a great resource because, honestly, if you're a Windows or Mac user, nothing even comes close to the ease of use that Docker Desktop makes it possible to use it on those platforms. Now, as Linux guys, we've always had the ability to install Docker on the command line. That's all that we really need. But Docker Desktop recently changed its licensing agreement now so that you can only use it for free if you're part of a small business or a nonprofit, or a couple of other exceptions. And if you're not, you're going to have to pay per user, per month licensing fees. So just be aware that it does have a bit of a cost to it now that it didn't before.